If you ever feel like your healing is taking forever and you're constantly on this endless loop of resting, trusting, pulling back, then you are not alone and you're going to want to listen to this episode. Hi, everyone. I'm Stefi Lane. Welcome to the Magnetic Online Leaders Podcast here on YouTube and on all your podcasts. And today I decided to do things really casual. And because I was making my comeback into this bigger thing than it needed to be. And I was like, you know what? Let's make it casual. Let's make it outside. Let's connect with nature and let's talk to the people. So if you see me just looking off to the side, I'm just looking at my notes to make sure I hit everything. Okay. So let me just start with, I just came out of a healing journey and I just got recently, about a couple weeks ago, myomectomy. And I'll make sure to write it below. It's basically, I had a C-section, but it was to remove fibroids. And I had a couple fibroids in my womb that were giving me so much pain that was making my periods and my menstrual cycle terrible. And it honestly, my quality of life, and also was preventing me from getting pregnant. So there was a lot of other things that were affecting it. And so I decided to go under, and I've never done a surgery before. I've never been under anesthesia before. I've never had stitches before. This is all new to me. I've always been a pretty healthy, vibrant person. And oh my goodness, it was a lot more challenging than I expected, right? You think you're ready for something, and then when you go through it, you're like, wow, like this was major surgery. I actually didn't come to terms that I was having major surgery until an hour before, which is a terrible place to realize that you need surgery, is an hour before, because I started to notice, I'm actually, make sure my mic's on, okay. I'm actually starting to feel like this is gonna really take me out, and this is gonna be a recovery process. So yes, and I'm just looking at my notes. So I'm coming out of that, and it was pretty intense. And the first 1 to 3 weeks was super intense, like just no movement, nothing really. I was eating very little. I was sleeping a lot. And then I started to bring my appetite out, and then also reactions to the anesthesia, because anesthesia has its own reactions. And then also I was on really hardcore drugs. And so coming off those drugs, it was just a lot. And I sometimes get emotional thinking about it because it was so much more than I expected. My expectations didn't match reality. It's like I didn't have the right expectations for it. And so coming out of that healing from a perspective of my spiritual, emotional, and then also physical, like the womb has like such beautiful energy, and it's a creation, right? It's our portal of creation. It's our hips. It's like we're God in between our legs, right? And I had something there that was stopping me from getting pregnant, and also it was very intense, the recovery. So I didn't plan on going that personal with you all and tell you everything. I'm not going to share what the surgeon said to me and what all the recommendations and all that stuff. You can, you Google, chat GPT it, not Google it. You can chat GPT it. But yeah, it was really intense. So I want to talk about defining and understanding your healing girl era, okay? Because your healing girl era is when either a physical, spiritual, emotional thing happens and you kind of pull back. You're more reserved. You're more in this energy of recuperating. You're not so much in this external. Like me putting out a YouTube video right now would be absolutely insane if I did that a few weeks ago, because I was so in my feels and in pain and just everything all above. But this healing girl era became, I think, really popular during 2020, when obviously the whole world was healing and mourning and grieving, and there was so much pain and so much suffering. That is where we are now. But yes, there was just so much happening. And we started to realize that we're not okay. This isn't right. We shouldn't be doing this. Why are we eating this? Why are we creating this? All the chaos that was happening around us. And I know me personally, and I spoke to a lot of people during 2020, you pulled back. You decided to do things differently. You changed your life. I moved to Austin, Texas. Like we completely changed the trajectory of our lives just doing a big move like that. And so people a lot of times look at the butterfly, and you have to remember that the butterfly is in the chrysalis before it's in the cocoon, and that is the healing part. That's when you're just like you're draped and you're connected to so much stuff, so much of yourself, so much of things you want to see, you don't want to see, maybe past traumas, maybe past frustrations, past anger, losses, grief. And when you go into like a healing portal, everything comes up. Like I was just so amazed at how much stuff came up for me. So remember that you can't go back to who you were before. Like you have to go forward, and you have to be in that uncomfortableness. I heard that when a butterfly is in the chrysalis, when it's in the cocoon, it literally has to like become like liquid goop. It has to like destroy itself in order for it to become the butterfly. And that makes me kind of emotional thinking about it, because it's like, yes, you are no longer that person, and you're doing the healing, and it's so uncomfortable, and there's so many emotions, and you're feeling the things. And I don't also think there's emotional and then there's physical healing, and I don't think one is like more intense than the other. They can equally match at certain times and moments, and I've had that, and I've had friends that have had those moments. So don't think that if you're going through a spiritual, it's not as, or an emotional, it's not as intense as a physical. Like there's both, and I can actually confirm and say that. And there were a lot of times during this physical one that I was like, oh, I remember when I was going through that thing in 2016 or 2012. Like, wow, like, excuse me. And healing eras are, excuse me, we're going to make this real casual today. I'm going to have some water. Healing eras are not just one-time things. Like they're constant. You're constantly going through these moments. And so I know that in a few years I'll have another healing thing. And this was my first like really, really big physical one. And it's cool that I've got to almost 40 years old, and I'm almost 38. And I haven't gone through anything majorly physical, but I don't, and I pray and I hope that I don't have to do anything in that area or go under. I don't want to go under. I don't know how people do it voluntarily. Like if you're going to do like something cosmetic, to each their own, but no, thank you. No, thank you. And so there's this sense of identity and rebirth, right? Letting go of the past identities and letting your new identity, your new rebirth, your new version of yourself come through. But the old version of you has to die in order for, I'm just checking if we're recording. Okay, the old version of you has to die in order for the new version to come through. That's just how it is. It has to. And healing isn't linear. You need to know that. Like your healing is not linear. And you're going to have good days, and then you're going to have days that you feel like I was telling a lot of my friends, I felt like I was taking one step forward, two steps back. And it's just like a zigzag. Like you're going to be like, I'm doing great. Oh, not so great. Oh, okay, I'm great. And that's something I've learned to, I wouldn't say stabilize, but understand that is part of the process. And as soon as I've accepted that, like some days I would go out and walk. And then other days I would be like, I can't walk. Like there's no way. So like maybe I'll just like kind of dance or move. Like when I say dance, I was like moving like my hips like this, or moving my arms. And like this morning I did a workout. I did a 40-minute like flow workout, and I'm approved by my surgeon. I'm good. It was so good. Like just to move my body, the things you take for granted when you are healing. Oh my God. So keep that in mind, that your healing is not linear. It is going to go up and around, and it's gonna feel sometimes like a roller coaster, and that's what it definitely felt like me. And you're not sliding. And then, the trust and the surrender, trusting that it's all gonna work out, trusting that it's all working for your better version of yourself, and then the surrender piece. I had to really lean on a lot of people. I had to lean on my husband. I had to lean on my friends. I really had to surrender because I was like literally physically could not walk, could not move. And like I had to have my husband like lift my legs up and put a pillow underneath my feet. So like you have to like learn these things and be okay with receiving help and getting that help. And then there is creativity in the healing, right? There is creativity, like learning. If I was going through a spiritual or emotional, I would be walking a lot, but this was physical. So, I started to create affirmations on this channel. I started to journal and write, and I started to read a lot of fiction. So I found things that worked for me and that I enjoyed. And yeah, your healing process is beautiful. It's incredible. It's challenging. It's all the feels, but it really creates this unlocked feeling for you. So I hope that you liked this very casual sit down YouTube video. I'm gonna get a little fancier and create my other YouTube videos with the edits and all the things, but I just wanted to connect with you all. It's been a while. This will go on to the podcast. This will go onto YouTube. Make sure to like and subscribe. And I'm going to be talking all about creating your inner magnetism so you can create more success in your life. And then you are creating and you're building this new embodiment of you, this new identity of you. All right. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one.